You join us today as we're flying to England for a wedding on the East Coast. But that presents us with an opportunity for something much needed. Not quite R&R, more P&V. Photo and video, that is, of the old homeland. Within easy access of the wedding location was the world-renowned Dovercourt Lighthouses. Okay, that's a phrase probably never ever uttered before. There are two lighthouses here, connected by a causeway. The lighthouses date back to 1863, but ceased operation in 1917 before being restored in the mid-1980s. As we pulled up at the location, there was an important first item on the agenda: proper fish and chips. Cod for me, haddock for Mrs. Faceless. I'm gonna need more chips than that, my dear. With a side of mushy peas. So with our food swiftly polished off, it was time to take in some of that sea air and get some images. To our left is the port of Harwich. To our right is the land-based lighthouse. But ahead of us and out to sea will be our main focus lighthouse. The forecast was cloud and scattered showers, as it had been the day before and indeed the day before that. There are certainly clouds on the horizon, but not quite what we were expecting. Anyway, time for me to set up and get some video, trying to avoid the numerous dog walkers on the beach, whilst making note of the position of the large container ships heading in and out of the port. Definitely don't need these in the final composition, so I'm watching the movements of the ships and the pilot boats very closely. This, for example, is a 15-minute clip condensed into 15 seconds. Whilst the ship may be fairly easy to clone out, there are distinct exhaust plumes, not really showing on camera, which we also wanted to avoid capturing. The lighthouses date back to 1863, but ceased operation in 1917 before being restored in the mid-1980s. If there was a better sky and I had a wider lens, then this would be a nice shot. And of course, if I was about 20 feet taller. I'm already standing on the seawall at this point and still can't get high enough. A drone would likely work here too, but I'd had no room in my suitcase for that. Mrs. Faceless, already vertically challenged, is opting for a different tack, looking through the ironwork legs for something like this, which I may have to copy. I'm not trying to get any of the port in the background. Sorry if that offends anyone from Harwich. And with such a bland sky, monochrome is your friend here. With a break in the port traffic, I followed Mrs. Faceless down to the beach. If you're enjoying this or enjoy any of our other videos, we'd much appreciate if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give the video a like and maybe share it with someone who you think would also enjoy watching it. Thank you. Whenever you're at the beach or the coast, take a few minutes to assess the waves, especially that mythical seventh wave. Yes, I know it's not actually each seventh wave, but there's always a bigger one which can catch you out. We set up by this groin. It doesn't quite line up with the lighthouse, but it does work well as a foreground element. And we slowly worked our way around to fine-tune our compositions, gradually getting closer to the water's edge and the groin itself. With this image, I liked the 2x1 aspect, but felt the first post was a little distracting, so I gently eased it out of the image during processing. And then I couldn't decide if I liked the square crop better. With those images done and the promised clouds nowhere to be seen, it was time to do our best with the long exposure fine art style shot. A quick scan of the horizon to ensure there's no distractions from those container ships. Right, we'll start with Mrs. Faceless. This is the JPEG image straight out of camera, nothing done to this. And this is after a few little tweaks, including removing that horizon. And this is my straight out of camera JPEG. And after my little tweaks. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed travelling along with us today, a like and a subscribe would be much appreciated. Until next time.